Welcome to the Python training session. Today we are learning the new topic collections in Python. Collection topic will be covered in two parts. In the first part, you will be learning about list and tuple. In the second part, you will be learning about dictionary. Now, let us try to understand what is a collection. Collection is a group of values stored with a single name. It is used to store the information in the form of a group. We need to understand why we need a collection. For example, I want to store the information about a student, like a registration number, name, course, fees. To store these information, I have used 4 different variables. If you see, all the 4 variables contains the information about one entity, student. Instead of storing all the information in a separate variable, we can group all the information about the student into one unit, either by using list or by using tuple. And we can identify the group of value with a single name. So that is what we call it as a collection. Coming to the types of collections in Python, we have 3 types of collections. Index-based collection, key example, list and tuple. We have key-value-based collection, example, dictionary. And we have a collection to store only unique values, example, set. First, let us try to understand what is a list. List is a group of values belong to one or more data type. In Python, list values are enclosed between the square bracket. For example, you can see here I have a list, the values placed within the square bracket. I have an integer value and also I have a name which is a string value. Value stored in the list, tuple or dictionary is called as element or item. Item can be retrieved based on its position. Now let us see the first example for how to create a list and how to perform the basic operations on the Python list. So the line number 4, I am creating a list with some values. Each value, item or value in the list will come to you with a positional value starting with 0. It is called as index. I am printing the list. Now let us try to understand some of the basic operations which we can perform on the list. First operation is indexing. What is indexing? Retrieving a specific value from the list based on its position. Second operation is slicing. Slicing is retrieving group of values from the list by specifying the starting and the ending index position. The last basic operation is repetition. Repetition, list name into 2 or into 3 will print a list value that many number of times. Now let me execute this program and so we will see the output here. This is the list. Value in the second position is Shivani. And value from first position to third position is 3 values have come. A list into 2, so the list is printed 2 times. Now we will go with the next topic. How to use a for loop on the list. So now let me see the example, first example of how to use for loop on a list. So we have a list here with 3 values and I have used the for loop here. In this particular example, for loop will iterate on the starting from the first item in the list. It will iterate and it will help you to fetch one item at a time from the list till it reaches the last item in the list. Here we are applying a for loop on a item to item based on the item to item navigation. For example, so I am just executing this. You can see 3 separate values are printed. This is one way of using the for loop. We can also use the for loop. We can also use the for loop in another manner. So how we can use the for loop? Yeah, I'm just, let me open the example. So we can also use the for loop to retrieve the value based on its position or the index. This is the example. Why I have used here the range function? Range function I have used because I am retrieving the value based on the index position. In the first example, I have given 0, 3. Always here also upper limit will be one number less to the given positional value. The better approach will be you use the len function. Len function will help you to find out how many values are there in the list. Accordingly, your for loop will iterate. So now let me execute this. You can see here. So now it will navigate based on the position and it will help you to retrieve one item at a time from the given position. Hope you have understood this example. The next example is, so we will see the next example. In the next example, we will see how to add the value to the list. To add the value to the list, basically we are using to add the value to the list. Basically, we are using here two functions. One is append function. What the append function will do, it will add the item at the end of the list. And also we have an insert function. Insert function will be used to add the item or value to the specified position in the list. So here I have created an empty list called student list and I am adding two values here using the append function. Then we are printing the values. Then also I am using here the insert function. Whenever you use insert function, you have to give the positional value, position value and also the value to be inserted in that position. Now let me execute and see the output. See here you have two items. I have given here one index position 1, name Sanjay is added to the index position 1. Next example is we will study how to delete the value from the list. To delete the value, to delete the value, so we have 4 different functions are there to delete the value from the list. First function is the remove function. So remove function will help you to delete the specified item from the list based on the item name. We have a del function. It deletes the item based on its position or the given index value. And I have a pop function. Pop function will remove a last item from the list. And we have a clear function. Clear function will delete all the items from the given list. Let us try to understand this with the help of an example. I have created here a laptop list and I am printing all the list items. And I am using here a del function to delete the item from the list 2. The item from the second position will be deleted. And if I say 1 to 3, based on the given slicing position, that many number of items will be deleted. If you use the remove function, so I have given here the item name as apple, the item apple will be deleted. When I use a pop function, last item in the list will be deleted. When I use a clear, all the items from the given list will be deleted. Now let us execute this example. You can see the output here. I am printing the output after each delete operation. At the end you can see, so we got only the empty list because I have used here the clear function. Hope you have understood this example. Next, we will see how to create the list using the user input values. So in this example, so I have created an empty list and I have used here a for loop because I want to accept 5 values from the user. Using the 5 values, whatever the value user will input, that values will be added as an item to the list. So I have used here an append function to add the value entered by the user into the list. So now let me execute this example. So I started typing the game name like cricket. So we have chess, 5 game names I have to add. Then I have a basketball. Then I have a football. Then the last game name which I will be adding, I'll be adding over here is tennis. So you can see all the user input values are added to the list. Hope you have understood this example. So now let us go to the next example. So next example, so we are learning in the next example how to search a value in the list, specific value in the list. So as usual, I have created my list and I have also given my search item. The operator that I am using here is in operator. The in operator returns true if the item is found in the list, and it returns false if the item is not found in the list. So now let me see, I have a list of 5 to 6 laptop names. In this, I want to search for the value Sony. And even in operator will return the value true if the item is found in the list. The item is not found in the list, it returns false. So that's why I have used here if else condition to print the message accordingly. For example, first time you can see the name, the item Sony is found in the list. Now let me change the item name. It executes and the message is coming here is Sony is not found in the list. So this is one of the example to what we are using to find the item in the list. The next function what we are using to search for the specific item in the list is index function. What index function will do, it returns the index value or the positional value of the specific given item in the list. And based on that, we are searching whether the item is found in the list or the item is not found in the list. Only if the item is there in the list, your index function will return the proper positional value. Otherwise, it will not return any value. It will throw the exception. So therefore, you can see here we have used the index function with try and except block to catch those exceptions. So for example, now it is coming like the Dell item Dell is found in the list because so we have this item. Then I'll just change the item name to Dell 1 and we will be checking now. See, the message is coming. Element is not found in the list. After these two search example, so where we are heading towards, the sort operation. How to sort the list values. To sort the list values, we are using sort function. By default, the sort function will sort the item in the list in ascending order. If you want to sort the item in the descending order, you have to use reverse equal to true. So this will help you to sort the values in descending order. The prerequisite to sort the item in the list is the list should contain all values belong to the same data type. For example, if all the list items are string, so it is only string should be there. If it is only number should be there, like this. So you can see now the data is sorted in ascending and in the descending order. So we will move with the next example. Next example is we are trying to understand here how to about the concept of a nested list. What is nested list? Nested list means one list inside the other list. And we have the various slicing options we have given over here in this example. So let me first execute this and then I'll explain you. So here we can add the list as an item to the list, what we call this as a sublist. And in this example, you can see in the first example, I have given the position as it prints from starting from the second element, but it excludes the last two elements. Please see the last output here. So it is starting from first element, but it excludes the last two elements. And in the third print statement, I have given 4-1. 4-1 means, so it is printing Vinita. 4 is the main index position. 1 is the index position of the sublist. So it is coming. And then we are applying the slicing over here. You can see 2 items are coming from the list. So 4 and 0 to 2. 4 items are coming from the list. And also we are applying slicing. If it is a single item, it returns the number of letters from the list. And if you want to print the list in the reverse order, this is what syntax you need to give. And also, you can also reverse the sublist. So hope you have understood this example. So let me close this one. And the next example is how to use the function, a list as a function parameter. In this example, I have defined a function called findSum, which is taking the list as a parameter, and it is finding the total and average marks, total marks for all the marks given in the list, and it is returning the total value as a output. So here you can see I have defined a list and I am passing the list as a function parameter. If you can just execute this, will give you the total marks according to the given marks in the string. So next, after the list, we are learning about tuple. What is a tuple? Tuple is also like a list. But the only difference is a list and the tuple is that in the tuple, values are enclosed in the round bracket. Values are enclosed in the round bracket. And tuple is read-only. Read-only means whatever the value you give inside the tuple cannot be modified. Value given inside the tuple cannot be modified. So, but all the basic operation, what you have studied for the list is also applicable for the tuple. So you can see here indexing, slicing, replication. So all those, whatever we did for the list, the same thing we can do for the tuple also. And then we will see the difference between another example for the difference between the list and the tuple. So if you can see here, all the list values are enclosed within the square bracket and all tuple values are enclosed within the round bracket. And we can modify the item in the list, but tuple is read-only. You cannot modify the item in the tuple. For example, in this you can see I have created one list and one tuple. So and I am trying to modify the value in the list and value in the tuple. But when you try to modify a tuple value, it returns an error for you. You can see the runtime error. So now again you comment this particular statement and then you execute it. See now, see list Deepa has been changed to Sanjay, but the tuple is read-only. Or you cannot modify the tuple values. So hope you have understood all these examples for list and tuple. And in the next video, we will be studying collection part 2. We will be studying about the dictionary and set. Thank you.